Market update on the 7th. So pretty choppy day overall. Not much going on. But the thing is, we are in a demand zone here. And so for me, I was just buying calls in this zone. I do have a few puts, but those are pretty much farther out and they're in the money. So if we do go higher, I can average into them. Because I do expect us to come down here eventually, probably in the next week or two, farther. So I think short term, the most likely direction is up, but it's definitely possible we could go down as well. So looking at the chart, again, if you didn't watch the last video, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then probably 5 right here. So that would complete A, B, and C here. And we're likely starting a B wave higher. Although it's not 100% yet because we could be in a second wave of a fifth wave. If that's the case, I'd be looking for like 363, 365 on a move down. Invalidation for that is above the top here at 378.08. If I was going to guess and gamble on this, I would say that I would give it like a 80% chance that we have finished this move down and that we're starting a B wave higher, just because this is a pretty big fifth wave and it wouldn't make sense for the proportions for it to go all the way down to 363, because normally two waves are about the same length. This one is about $4. This one's longer than $4, and then this one is about $10. This one already was $7. So if we went down farther, it would be an extended fifth wave, and so I think it's not very likely. So the most likely path now is that we are just going to melt up and be a slow grind, really. If this took from July 19th all the way down to August 7th, that's 19 days. We could be looking at this chop and melt up all the way into like NVIDIA earnings. NVIDIA earnings are on the 23rd, I think. We do have CPI on Thursday, but just based on the chart, I would say it's more than likely we are bottom and we're just going to chop and go higher. There's a 382 gap fill here, 385 gap fill. So that is the most likely path. But again, the directions are going to end up being basically this overall, wrong one, ABC higher, or this. This is the 20% not very likely one. So get ready for a melt up most likely. I'm in calls right now because we are in a demand zone on the 4-hour time frame. You can look at that again. So again, right here. This right here is a 4-hour zone. We gap filled at 373 and then we get a big move out of it. We don't come back down here into that zone. Now we come back into it, and it's actually bounced out of this now 3 times, 1, 2, and 3. So it's a pretty good demand zone. If it were to break that, there is a demand zone between 366 and 369 and another gap fill at 369. So leaning towards the upside, we'll see how that plays out. It could be a long, choppy move all the way till the end of August, but we'll see. Tesla barely holding the line that I was using for invalidating this being a B wave, and that was the 1.61 fib of the A wave, and we came down and basically hit it. This brings out all kinds of possibilities now, because if it's an expanded flat, it can go all the way up here to the gap fill that it made right after earnings here around 290. That's completely possible. Or it could end at 267, which is the 0.78 fib right here. So anywhere from that range is possible. And of course, invalidation, if it breaks the lows here, then I would say it's probably coming down here straight to 235 and filling this gap. So right now it looks good though. It went to 242 and bounced pretty hard, and we're up after hours all the way at 252. And this move right here looks pretty impulsive to me. It just needs to come up a little bit higher to qualify as a wave 3, and then it can bounce lower and go higher. So look for this to hopefully go higher tomorrow and become a wave C so we can get up all the way to 268 to 290. Amazon, I think, is likely to gap fill tomorrow. So I was talking about this being a wave 4, and we got a nice impulsive move here. It looks like a 5th wave should start tomorrow. The likely spot is going to be 144.60 because that's a gap fill in another supply zone. And then again, if you watch the video this weekend, I talked about this potentially only being wave 1 of 5, because if you take the length of wave 1 and put it here, it takes us all the way to 159. If we go to 144, that takes us to 155 for a 3rd wave. Pullback 158 would be the target. So I think there's a very good chance that this is only wave 1 of 5. We would see a retrace to like 135 or so, and then we would see a 3rd wave to 155. So an opportunity coming into Amazon. If you can get, like tomorrow, I probably wouldn't play it, but if you get a retrace corrective move down into here, maybe even all the way down here and filling the gap, I would be buying that pretty hard and putting a stop below the low, because the next move could take us to 155. Apple likely finished a 3rd wave today. I think it's probably starting a 4th wave, in which it could go pretty high. I don't know. It could come all the way up here to 185, but also just 182. And then we also have the gap here at 175. Just based on what I see on this, if this is a wave 3 right here, it's kind of hard to tell. Then I would be looking for that gap fill to happen pretty quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that actually aligns with Amazon too. If you think about it, if Apple finishes wave 4, Amazon finishes wave 5, Tesla finishes wave 1, they can all consolidate together, and maybe that will be like wave B of this ABC move, because Apple doesn't have very much downside. It's going to hit this gap fill, and I mean, this was what, $7. This goes to 182, 176 is $7. So that would only be wave A right into demand, and you could buy that. And there's a gap at 190 that I took off of here, and there's a gap at 195. So they're all aligning pretty well. And then we got Microsoft here. It's probably started a B wave. I think the 5th wave is probably finished right here, most likely. I think tomorrow this could see all the way up here to 336. Just based on what I see from this, it looks like an ABC move. So I would look for 336, and then after that, probably cool off a little bit, and then, you know, kind of chop up here to maybe 350. And SPY. SPY is in the same position as QQQ, in my opinion, unless, I didn't look at this very hard, but unless this is a 3rd wave, or a 1st wave of an overall 3rd wave. But assuming this is wave 1, we get a wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. This is likely doing the same thing as QQQ, where we would just be melting up to at least 453, but probably this gap fill again here at 456. So all of these are pretty much aligned. I'll put the key takeaways in the description with timestamps. They all look pretty good. We can look at Meta real quick too. And Meta didn't really do anything today. I guess it's up 1.8, but it didn't really do anything in terms of the chart. And this might have a little bit more of a pullback too, if this is a fourth wave still. This is one of the ones that I thought was going to make a fifth wave here soon, but it's been pretty choppy, so we'll see. It does have a supply zone right here. We'll see how it goes over the next couple of days. I think that's it for right now. I'll put the key takeaways in the description. Look for chop up here, potentially to 382 on QQQ, and it could take a while. Tesla potentially making a wave C, needs to hold 242 and could go all the way to 290. Apple, likely fourth wave started, fifth wave down here to fill the gap, and then a big bounce. Microsoft, I'm looking for 336 gap fill, and then probably going to do something like this, and then come up here at 350. And then SPY, looking for this gap fill at 456. So that's it. Not a very eventful day, but look for more upside over the next couple of days, probably going into CPI. So that's it. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe if you like the content, and I will talk to you tomorrow.